The Pittsburgh Power's kicker Julian Roush connected on a 23-yard field goal as the clock expired to hand Philadelphia a heartbreaking 57-56 defeat on Saturday. Tonight, we'll talk to quarterback Dan Raudabaugh and Emory Salmons, who led the Soul offense with 14 receptions, tying the franchise record for most receptions in a game. Plus, Jaws will be back to talk some football. We have Vinnie the Crumb, and I'll have my own thoughts about Father's Day. I'm Rhea Hughes. The Soul Insider, presented by Foods Galore, is next. The Soul's loss to the Power drops them to 6-7, and this game featured everything, not just coming down in a thriller to the end. It featured blown calls, terrible injuries to the Soul. Here's what happened in the game.
The Power have a former MVP at quarterback. At 6'7", Tommy Grady makes some big plays. His first TD toss to veteran Preche Rodriguez, who would end with 5 of these and 14 catches in all. Phillies' Dan Raudabaugh would actually put up better numbers. He finds the surprising Emory Salmons for a franchise record tying 14 catches on the night, and the Soul led 22-14 after this. They were on odd numbers all night because place kicker Carlos Martinez was injured on the opening play. A huge difference maker, Soul standout Ryan McDaniel goes down and lost with an Achilles injury. In all, 4 Soul starters would leave with injuries. Still, with Salmons stepping up and going into the end zone again, the Soul take a 28-27 lead at the break. And then it goes terribly wrong. No other way to explain this two-hopper that is somehow seen as a Pittsburgh interception, leaving Coach Clint Dozel enraged and Ron Jaworski not just climbing the wall, but ready to jump over it. No review, as the Soul had no challenges left and none of the paid officials could see in real time what everyone in the building could easily see, that the ball bounced not just once, but twice. With the gift, Grady throws to Rodriguez to take the lead.
Rodriguez, touchdown!
On the ensuing kickoff, the ball bounds wildly off the nets and is recovered by the Power for another touchdown. 2 plays, 2 scores, and suddenly a 12-point Pittsburgh lead at 40-28. The Soul insert backup quarterback Brian Randall at receiver. He scores. Soul down 4 with a 2-pointer converted. Into the fourth quarter, the Soul down 11 again. Raudabaugh finds Salmons again. Power 47, Soul 42.
11th grab of the night. 3rd touchdown for Emory Salmons, keeping the game alive for Philadelphia.
Forced to now insert star runner Derek Ross at defensive end due to injuries, the Soul come up with a huge turnover.
Picked off! There's the turnaround they needed. Kaiser still on the move and across midfield.
And now Ross does what he does best.
Ross with a lot of room, left side. Derek Ross into the end zone. The Soul take back the lead.
But the conversion fails. The Soul lead 48-47. Grady answers to Rodriguez to retake the lead 54-48. Now, 1:26 left. Soul have it in the red zone, down 6. On 2nd and goal from the 3, Vakean Lacey snares a bullet, and it's tied.
Caught! Lacey has it for a Soul touchdown!
After a huddle with his coach, Raudabaugh goes to the line and stuns everyone on the 2-point try, a bootleg.
The fake Raudabaugh rolls it into the end zone! 2-point conversion on the naked bootleg works! It works! The Soul take the lead with 35 seconds left!
Soul lead 56-54. The Power at the Soul 9, facing 4th and 7 with 23 seconds left. TJ Langley jumps offsides, an automatic first down in arena ball. With 1 tick left, 1 kick is all that's needed. And a kick sucks all the soul out of Philly's courageous effort. Power 57, Soul 56.
Those injuries and blown calls really affected the outcome of the game. Now, taking a look at the injury report following the game, news is not great at all. Ryan McDaniel out with a ruptured Achilles. Defensive lineman Tyrone Hurst suffered a meniscus tear. He's doubtful. And kicker Carlos Martinez doubtful with a calf tear. He's expected to miss 4 weeks, whereas Brandon Perkins will be questionable with an MCL sprain. We'll talk more about the effects of all of those injuries on last week's game later in the show. And now I want to bring in Soul President Ron Jaworski to the Soul Insider. Hey, Jaws, last week we talked about arena football being a quarterback's game. And obviously the parameters of the arena game, dimension of the field, number of players, player motion, linebacker rules, all require the quarterback to think differently and perform differently. So tell us, what are some of the different challenges a quarterback faces in arena football?
Yeah, Rhea, I think first thing, the one constant between the National Football League quarterback and the Arena Football League quarterback is intelligence. You have to process information quickly. And those quarterbacks that do that at the NFL level and at the Arena Football League level are the ones that have the most success. Now, there's a difference in the quarterback style in the NFL as compared to the AFL. I believe arm strength is critical in the National Football League because of the size of the field. When you watch an Arena League quarterback, arm strength isn't that critical because it's a game of angles, it's a game of touch, and you have to understand the angles of the game, which is much different than the outdoor game played in the NFL, college, and high school on the big field. So the big difference, I believe, obviously, is the quarterback's ability to put touch on the throw at the Arena Football League level. Unfortunately, here in Philadelphia with Dan Raudabaugh, he excels at all the attributes you have to have in the Arena Football League.
Okay, Jaws, with respect to the angles and touch, how does a quarterback have to adjust his thinking?
Because of the size of the field, Rhea, you don't have to make those drive throws 25 and 30 yards downfield that hang in the air a long time. A lot of times you're throwing over the top of people, those linebackers that don't blitz and drop back 5 yards. There's a void in the defense right there. And guys that throw the ball with power usually don't get arc on the football, and those linebackers or defensive linemen knock balls down. So clearly the quarterback that has the ability to supinate his wrist and get the wrist under the ball and get that nose up and put touch and finesse on those throws has long-term success in the Arena Football League. So I was a power thrower in my career. I probably would have struggled in the Arena Football League because it took me a long time to learn how to finesse throws.
All right, can you talk to us a little bit about things like strategy and timing?
Well, I think it always starts, Rhea, with processing information. When you break the huddle, you get a pre-snap look at what the defense is going to do. The one advantage that the Arena Football League offenses have are that high motion, where you have a single wide receiver screaming at the line of scrimmage. As most people know, in the NFL, that motion must be going parallel to the right line of scrimmage. So clearly, the high motion of a wide receiver in the Arena Football League opens the game up, because there is no defensive back in the world that's going to stand there at the line of scrimmage with a speedy wide receiver screaming at him with a 10-yard head start. So they have to give cushion, and that allows free access to the routes. And that really is the key to all the scoring and the open play in the Arena Football League.
All right, Jaws, thanks, as always, for giving us a little insight into the Arena League.
Thanks, Rhea.
And the Soul return to the Wells Fargo Center this Saturday, June 21st at 6:05 p.m. as they battle division rival, the 11-1 Cleveland Gladiators. It's Irish American night, and the Soul will be looking to climb back into the playoff picture. The first 3,000 fans at Saturday's game receive a Soul koozie. Get your tickets now by calling 888-789-SOUL or go to PhiladelphiaSoul.com. After the break, we'll talk to Emory Salmons, who had a big night Saturday night, and we'll chat with Dan Raudabaugh, too, when we return to the Soul Insider, presented by Foods Galore.
The Soul Insider, presented by Foods Galore, is sponsored by Pro Systems. Pro Systems Audio, one of Philadelphia's finest audio, video, and lighting contracting firms. By Walgreens, at the corner of happy and healthy. And by the Judge Group and Judge Unified Communications, designing, developing, deploying, and managing advanced technologies for clients across the globe.
Scott, he's doing a great job for us, whether it be, the steak meat, the lobster, everything is our own brand. It's a testimonial to Foods Galore.
Service is what's made our company. Loyalty, reliability, honesty. Your growth was one of the main reasons why I evolved in the business.
People look at Chicky and Pete's as a success story, but it's actually your success story. It works just like a marriage, because I still have my wife and I still have you.
Which car brand has the most repeat buyers? Hyundai. And which midsize sedan has both more horsepower and interior room? The Sonata. All of which leaves the rest wanting. The value of the Sonata. The power of America's best warranty. Hurry to your Hyundai dealer today and lease the Sonata for only $169 per month or get 0% APR for up to 72 months. Act fast. These limited time offers end June 30th.
Ready for a little fun? You could scratch your way to instant winning. Play the Pennsylvania Lottery's new instant game, $1,000 Frenzy, with 8 top prizes of $300,000. It's kind of fun to make a splash. Keep on scratching.
Here's the Colonial Marble rock-solid player of the game.
4th down, Parks Casino Gamble. Got a ball to throw for. Has his man in Salmons. 11th grab of the night. 3rd touchdown for Emory Salmons. Keeping the game alive for Philadelphia.
And we want to welcome in the player of the game, who just, by the way, just happened to tie a franchise record for most receptions in a game at 14. He had 144 yards and 3 touchdowns. Emory Salmons, welcome to Soul Insider.
Oh, thank you very much.
And I want to mention, local kid from North Philly, and you played high school ball where?
At Willenboro High School.
There we go. So we got a local kid playing for the Soul. Here's the interesting thing, and I want to get into the game a little bit, but you played for the Soul in 2012 and 2013. You were not with them in the beginning of the year. Were you just kind of sitting around waiting? And I'm sure you were doing other things, but waiting for the phone to ring?
I'm always waiting for the phone call. I mean, for that special phone call. You know, I do have my things that I do during the off season, but everybody knows, coaches, players, anybody that I've ever came encountered with, they know that I'm always ready.
So let's talk about the game Saturday night against the Pittsburgh Power. You had the 3 touchdowns. There was so much going on in that game. Kind of start out with when your kicker goes down in the beginning. Does that just change everything you guys have to do offensively?
It changes a lot. Believe it or not, when you lose your kicker, you know, you have to completely change your whole game plan around, you know, because now you have to worry about field position, and then you have to worry about, okay, we can't go for this play, we can't go for a kick on this one, we can't run the clock out so we can get a kick here or there. You know, it makes things a little bit complicated.
Well, you were actually pressed into service to do a little kicking yourself, right?
Yes, I was.
So tell me about the couple plays that you had, and do you have more respect for kickers now actually trying it in a game?
I've always had the utmost respect for kickers, for the simple fact that I know that the leg strength you have to have and the technique that you have to use in order to get that ball kicked in the way that it needs to be kicked. Because every time, you know, the guys we fool around at practice and we try to kick the ball, it's like, it's just not happening. So.
All right, tell me a little bit about you'd taken a beating in this game. You got hit pretty hard. I know you went down, you came up. On the last touchdown that you caught, you said you actually got in trouble for it. Can you just kind of explain to everybody how sometimes broken plays do work out?
One rule of professional football, or football period, is if you're going to make a mistake, you do it at 100 miles per hour. And sure enough, when I came in motion, I got knocked off track. You know, the guys were aware that I was a little out of it from earlier, being knocked out earlier in the game. And so I assumed that they were doing whatever it takes to really get me out of there.
You don't mind getting yelled at when it actually results in a touchdown, right?
Yeah. Oh, of course not. That actually eases the pain a little bit, especially when dealing with Coach Dozell.
Oh, I've seen him. Emory, I want to thank you so much for being our guest on Soul Insider, and good luck next week against Cleveland.
My pleasure. Thank you.
We want to welcome in Philadelphia Soul quarterback Dan Raudabaugh. Dan, welcome back to the show.
Yeah, hey, thanks for having me again.
What were your thoughts at the end of that game on Saturday night? I mean, it had to be gut-wrenching.
Yeah, I mean, it was tough there. I'm proud of my guys for stepping up. The ones who had to play both ways for us, Derek, Adam, Holman. Holman does a great job. He's known for being an Iron Man. And then, I mean, guys having to kick the ball. But, yeah, I mean, it was tough. It came down to some costly mistakes by us and then a good kick by them. You never want that to happen. But, hey, I thought we fought hard. And we just got to build off some of that heart and passion we played with that week and carry it over into this game this week.
When you lose your kicker on the opening kickoff, do you just know immediately that your offensive game game plan may just be changing a little bit?
Yeah, for sure. The field position changes. Onside kick game is big in the Game of Arena League. And so anytime you lose a kicker who has that ability, it changes the game a lot. But, hey, we'll go for 2 every time. It doesn't bother me. It gives us a chance to score more. But we wish him a good, healthy recovery because he's a good kicker for us. But we'll find someone to step in and get the job done and get us back on track.
The third quarter interception that wasn't really an interception, how frustrating is it? Because, if you were able to challenge it, it probably would have been overturned.
Yeah, I hate to say it, that's how the ball bounces sometimes. There's only 4 or 5 referees out there. It's tough for them to do their job perfectly every time, but at the same time, we expect perfection out of them. So I'd like that call to go on the other way. It didn't. It ended up being a 14-point swing with the rebound touchdown off the net on the ensuing kickoff. So it was a big play in the game, but, I thought we overcame it, and we faced a lot of adversity this year, and we'll face more. There's 5 more games to come. Anything can happen in this league, so we got to keep fighting.
All right, I want to thank Soul quarterback Dan Raudabaugh, our guest on Soul Insider, presented by Foods Galore. Dan, thanks, and good luck against Cleveland.
Thank you very much.
So return to the Wells Fargo Center this Saturday, June 21st at 6:05 p.m. as the Soul battle division rival, the 11-1 Cleveland Gladiators. Get your family 4-pack now. That's 4 tickets, 4 hot dogs, 4 sodas, 4 popcorns for as low as $68. Call 888-789-SOUL or go to PhiladelphiaSoul.com. After the break, we'll hear from Vinnie the Crumb with Vinnie's Crumbs when we return to Soul Insider, presented by Foods Galore.
How can the Judge Group help your business? By providing you with effective business technology solutions. By recruiting the finest personnel to meet your unique business needs. By providing corporate training, learning, and performance support solutions. And unified communications, voice and video system design and engineering. With over 30 offices in the U.S., Canada, and Asia, the Judge Group, a global leader in professional services since 1970.
No one else can do what Colonial Marble and Granite can do. We've revolutionized the way you buy your granite countertops. Colonial Marble and Granite, the nation's leading granite countertop fabricator. Visit our King of Prussia showroom today and see how easy, beautiful, and affordable your countertops can be. Professional, courteous service, unbeatable prices, just $19.99 installed. No one else can beat Colonial Marble and Granite. Visit us online at colonialmarble.net.
Which car company is #1 in customer loyalty? Hyundai. And which car has more horsepower and more front leg room? The Elantra. The others are simply playing catch-up. The satisfaction of the Elantra. The power of America's best warranty. Right now, lease a new 2014 Elantra for just $149 a month or get up to $2,000 total savings. Get to your local Hyundai dealer today because this offer ends June 30th.
Hi, I'm Tony Mitchell, Brinker Simpson & Company, Certified Public Accountants. We offer comprehensive financial compliance and tax services. As Philadelphia's leading tax and advisory firm, we let our clients say it best.
Tony and his team at Brinker Simpson provided the expertise of a large accounting firm, but didn't forget their small business roots.
Brinker Simpson has a clear business vision that looks beyond spreadsheets and numbers and sees opportunities.
At Brinker Simpson, firm relationships build success.
And now, the stop pain stop of the game.
On 2nd and 12, Grady throwing the long ball, picked off! There's the turnaround they needed! Kaiser still on the move and across midfield. The first pickoff and interception of Grady tonight.
It's not often I recommend a must-read to people, but you got to check out an extraordinary column in the Philadelphia Inquirer on Sunday by Mike Sealski. You can access it online at philly.com. Now, we just celebrated Father's Day, and Mike's column details the affection his 3-year-old son, Evan, has developed for the Phillies, which he says was quite welcome to Evan's parents after specialists had recently told them he was testing for characteristics of autism. Mike says Evan's love of the Phillies came from watching the team when he would take them to bed at night. He memorizes their jersey numbers, even imitates their swings, loves, Carlos Hernandez as much as he loves Chase Utley. Now, reading Mike's story about his son brought me back to a truism I've always completely believed about sports and it annoys me when some dismiss it. Sports are important, no matter what people tell you, for a very simple reason. It bonds people. Bonds fathers and sons, mothers and daughters, strangers at a game or at a bar watching, sometimes good, sometimes not so good if you're not with the same. It bonded me as a teenager, I know, with my mom, and anybody who has had a teenage daughter, well, we can be quite awful unless there was a game on. My mom and I had nothing in common. The only breaks that came in our Cold War during my teenage years was when we watched a game together. One of the best memories I have is watching the '80 World Series championship with the Phillies with my mom, and then in '83 when the Sixers won. So it drives me nuts when some pundits or even some callers go, you know, it's only sports, or LeBron James saying, you know, it's only basketball. Interesting thing, King James, only basketball when you actually lose the title, but you've won enough, you'll be fine. You think sports matter to the civil rights movement? How about women in sports? Not that I'm all that crazy about Title IX, but I have a toddler just a little bit older than Mike Sealski's son. We do the same thing together. We watch games together. One of my favorite things he loves to say to me, invariably when I'm bitterly complaining about something in a game, they can't hear you, Mama. And as long as he does and enjoys those moments with me, then I enjoy watching games with him, and we will always have that in common, no matter what. That's what I know sports does, and it does matter.
This is Vinnie Crumb, and here's what I think. Well, what is with these big warehouse joints, really? You get me all worked up. What exactly is the hiring process for these places? Holding a mirror under their noses to see if it fogs up? Seriously, I couldn't find one brain cell at work there. They got two speeds there, dead and rigor mortis. No one knows anything about what you're asking about. The joint is so big you need a shuttle bus to get from one end to another. Then, when you get there, you're in Nitwit Town. Can we get someone with a half a clue to help me out here? I just need a light bulb, for Christ's sakes. Then you get in line, and it's the Cashier Social Club. They're talking to each other, yip-yapping back and forth. Yo, Trixie, can you ring me up, please? I've been here 4 hours for a stinking light bulb. You pay, and then you start to walk to the car that's parked a half a mile away because the driveway's 10 miles long. They ought to advertise these joints as gyms, too. Guess what? I'll pay the extra cash for the hardware store. They speak English there, and they know where the light bulbs are. Speaking of loose screws, the 6 and 7 Soul take on the 11 and 1 Cleveland Gladiators this Saturday night at the Wells Fargo Center, and if Soul needs a win, like I need a nutritionist, baby. Go Soul.
And as always, thank you, Vinny. Now, the Soul return to the Wells Fargo Center this Saturday, June 21st at 6:05 p.m. as the Soul battle division rival, the 11 and 1 Cleveland Gladiators. Bring your group of 10 or more out to a Soul game. Find out how your group can play on the Soul field, perform at the game in front of thousands of Soul fans, or high-five the players as they head to the field to play the game. Go to PhiladelphiaSoul.com for more details. After the break, we'll look ahead to the next Soul game against the Cleveland Gladiators and some closing thoughts and words from you, the fans, when we return to the Soul Insider, presented by Foods Galore.
Bradford White Water Heaters. American made, American owned, built to be the best. Why would you buy any other brand? Visit BradfordWhite.com to find a contractor near you.
Scott, he do a great job for us, whether it be, you know, the steak meat, the lobster, everything is our own brand. It's a testimonial to Foods Galore.
Service is what's made our company. Loyalty, reliability, honesty. Your growth was one of the main reasons why I evolved in the business.
People look at Chicken and Pizza as a success story, but it's actually your success story. It works just like a marriage, because I still have my wife and I still have you.
Soul fans, here's your chance to win the ultimate tailgate prize package. The Soul and your neighborhood Walgreens has your chance to win. Every month, you can win a 50-inch flat-screen TV, Soul tailgate grill, table, chairs, and coolers. Plus, you and 10 of your friends get to go to a Soul game VIP style in an all-you-can-eat club box. Get to Walgreens now and visit the Soul Zone. A new winner is selected every month. Brought to you in part by Canada Dry, Smart Water, Good Health Natural, Utz, Red Bull, Stop Pain, Coca-Cola, and Peanut Chews. No purchase necessary. Please see website for complete rules and regulations.
It's the Hyundai Drive Your Way Drive of the Game.
Jones in motion. Looking at him. throws over the middle. Oh, caught! Caught! Lacey has it for a Soul touchdown! And the handoff, the fake, Raudabaugh rolls it into the end zone! 2-point conversion on the Deacons, bootleg works!
Philadelphia Soul at 6-7 will welcome the Cleveland Gladiators, 11-1 to town. For those of you who remember a couple weeks ago, the Soul had them beat. Cleveland was undefeated at that point. I think they were 8-0, and the Soul had them beat right up until the end of the game, which is one of the great things about arena football. It also drives you crazy if it's your team. So they're now chasing Tampa. Tampa's at 7-6 for the playoff picture. The remaining games, as we mentioned, Cleveland. They've got Iowa, Orlando, San Jose, and Pittsburgh. And then, of course, we've got the Soul injury situation. You know, you got Ryan McDaniels out, you got kicker Martinez out, defensive lineman. So none of it is good for the Soul just in terms of fighting for, you know, a playoff spot because of everything they have going on. So we're going to get a little bit of viewer feedback, which, considering what happened in that game on Saturday night, we could spend a whole hour just on that. So Stephen Conway asks, why the onside kick with 36 seconds to go in the game? I know the kicker's hurt, but at least kick it as deep as possible. Well, here's the answer for that. With no kicker, the Soul's options were limited. Kicking it deep still probably would have given them the ball near midfield. And look, the play actually did work because the Soul forced a fourth down. Unfortunately, though, the offsides penalty gave Pittsburgh another life. All right, Linda Lane asks, why did we not have another challenge when one was not granted and one was? Well, in the AFL, the replay rules work in that you get 2 replay challenges in a game to begin with. So the Soul used their first challenge on the 2-point conversion. That was successful. However, the second challenge where the player went over the wall, Soul was not successful. So if they had won that last challenge, which they should have, then they would have been awarded a third challenge. And I hope you're taking notes because we're going to have a test on that at the end of the show. All right, the Soul return to the Wells Fargo Center this Saturday, June 21st, for Irish American Night. Kickoff is 6:05 p.m. as the Soul battle American Conference leader Cleveland Gladiators. The first 3,000 fans at Saturday's game receive a Soul koozie. Get your tickets now by calling 888-789-SOUL or go to philadelphiasoul.com. Thanks for joining us on another edition of Soul Insider presented by Foods Galore. We'll check in with you again next week.
The Soul Insider, presented by Foods Galore, is sponsored by Pro Systems Audio, one of Philadelphia's finest audio, video, and lighting contracting firms. By Walgreens, at the corner of happy and healthy. And by the Judge Group and Judge Unified Communications, designing, developing, deploying, and managing advanced technologies for clients across the globe.